Hello and welcome to Groovy. I am Blake Gardenier, aka Noiz Violation, and today is the next video in our tutorial series. We are talking about groove. You're going to learn today. Today we're going to learn and talk about groove. So, what is groove? Why I think groove is one of the most important things you can embrace as you go along your journey in learning music, and how to create groove. So, without further ado, let's get started. What is groove? And as you see here, I think groove is related to the heartbeat. Without groove, there would be no life. Groove is the living soul within the music and within the art. Groove is what you can ride along as you are focusing and listening on the music. Groove will take you along that journey. So, Webster's dictionary for groove is a long, narrow channel or depression. So I got a few pictures here of examples. So if you know what a record is, um, it has these indents or depressions, and the record needle sits in these grooves on the record, and that's how it plays the music, because these it's very it goes along a path, just like this skier, and just like these channels, these depressions over in this column. You start at a point, and something, as in this case skier, follows along the path through the bumps, ups and downs, lefts and rights, and that is the groove, is the path that it takes. So the second definition from Webster is a state in which you are able to do something well and easily, especially because you are doing it often. So as he's going down this mountain, he's hitting a hump, and then he goes down, and then he's hitting this next hump, then he's going down, and he's doing the same movements over and over again, with each one a slight variation of the next one. So it's a path that you follow along, and in music, it is the path the listener follows along, and that's what can get your head bobbing. That's what can get your feet tapping. You get in the groove and you sink into it. They say you sink into the groove because you are taken over and on the path. Because if you are in this groove, then really you just follow the groove all the way down. And that's why I like to think of it as a heartbeat, because it is the it is the emotion and soul of the music, and it's repetition. It's the foundation of the music. It is the path of the music, because it is what you want to convey. It is the journey that you want to take the listener on. And if you kind of understand that, then you will you will be able to tell a story much easier if you just focus more on the groove than anything else. Just focus on the groove. So why is the groove important? So the groove is the light. The groove is your focus. If you're focusing on the groove, then it's more important than the notes you play. So if you play a consistent groove, you get into the flow. You allow people to understand. They want to hear the repetition over and over again of the music. And even if you don't know how to play, but if you're playing the same groove, then even the wrong notes will start sounding right. Because if you're in the groove, then if you're a little too high, if you're playing the note a little too high, you're going to hear that and want to autocorrect and play the lower note, and that will get you into the groove because it's innate, it's in our DNA to understand and be in this groove. So we will self correct until we find the groove. And as long as we are in it, as long as we are focusing on getting in that groove, then we will we will find it, and the notes become less important, and you're really just following a path that you know will sound good. And it's the same with dancing. If you've seen dancers, you know, you do the same move over and over again. And so you keep with the rhythm and bouncing and really find that groove. And as you're in that, then you can start your progressions and elaborating on that groove. If you're just starting out music, I think that all you really need to focus on beginning is having fun and not worry about whether you're right or wrong, and really just stick to the beat and stick to the groove, and just have that initial storytelling ability that you want to convey, that you want to be in the groove and have fun and not really worry about whether something's in key, because a lot of music theory, they start out telling you notes and scales, but really that really means nothing. If you have a song in your heart, then you will find a way to get it out as long as you stick into the groove. So that is why I think groove is the most important. I think you don't need to learn anything. I think you already have the groove. So if you just have fun, then everything else will work out. So a couple ways on how to create groove. Really, it is not that difficult. If you get your initial groove down, if you get that feeling, it's what kind of feeling do you want to convey? What kind of mood or emotion do you want to tell? Whether it's happy, um, and as you get into notes, you'll realize that major scales are happy and sad scales are minor. And I think even if you didn't know that, then you would end up playing those notes. Um, Timing. So it depends on how spaced or rapidly you are playing the notes. So if you think of maybe an anxious person talks more fast than somebody who's laid back, or somebody who's in a hurry will speak more rapidly than somebody who is half asleep and is on the beach just chilling, enjoying the moment. It is the timing and spacing of the notes that will create different grooves and emotion. And it is the notes. So the notes are important, but they aren't the most important. So just to keep in mind, and the dynamics. So if you play something soft and then you play something loud, there's a different dynamic and feeling that you can convey. Is if you hit an instrument with a hammer or you hit an instrument with a feather, then it will sound different and you will produce a different groove by that. And it's also the tone and texture of the sound. So if you think of like an angry music, you would probably maybe think of heavy metal or punk music with a real distorted guitar lead. And if you think of tropical music, you'd probably think of flutes and uh, a steel drum. So really the instruments are also in your repertoire to create the groove you want, because I think each genre kind of has its own groove, its own personality, and also with dynamics, the volume. I kind of already touched upon that, but even no notes, um, the silence in between the notes will create different grooves. And if you play one thing soft and one thing loud, then it will groove. And the the pitch, the dynamics, the notes, the timing, it's all about feel and emotion and really the story that you're trying to tell. So that is my 2 cents on groove. Thank you for joining me. If you like it, please subscribe. Tell me about it. If you don't, tell me about it too. Thank you and have a great day.